would save us, like love knew what to do. Every feeling felt so certain, every promise felt true. We didn't doubt the beginning, we trusted what we found. We just didn't know forever would ask more than we knew how. We never learned the language for when love starts to strain. We knew how to hold each other, not how to hold the pain. We loved until we didn't know how, until effort felt unsure. But once came easy, started asking for something we weren't prepared for. We didn't stop caring, we just lost our way. We loved until we didn't know how to love each other that way again. We kept repeating old habits, hoping they still fit. We said this is just a phase, ignoring what we felt shift. You needed space to breathe again, I needed something to hold. We stood in the same silence, wanting different things to be told. I thought love meant persistence, staying no matter the cost. But staying without understanding is how two hearts get lost. We loved until we didn't know how, somewhere after we're okay. Those words became our shelter from the truth we couldn't say. We stayed gentle, we stayed close, but something slipped away. We loved until we didn't know how to reach each other every day. But maybe love needs learning to, not just feeling in time. Maybe we needed different tools to keep what felt divine. I don't blame us for trying or loving as best we could. I just wish we'd know what to do when love stopped feeling understood. Now I look back with softness, not anger, not regret. We love with what we had then, even if it wasn't enough yet. Some people need to feel deeply, not to last or stay. And some love teaches you how to love by showing you where it breaks. We loved until we didn't know how, and that's where it ended true. Not because the love was missing, but because we didn't grow it through. I'll remember us with tenderness, till we didn't know how, and that love still mattered without a root. Some love doesn't fail from lack of heart, it fades from lack of knowing. And you carry that lesson quietly, learning how to love better the next time it comes. You were still standing next to me, but not really here. Your smile reached the room, just not anywhere near. My heart, you listened without listening, held me without holding tight. And that's when I noticed something was already goodbye. I didn't need you to say it, I saw it every time. Love doesn't leave in words first, it leaves in the eyes. You were leaving in your eyes long before you said a thing. I felt the space where love used to be. Every time you blinked, we didn't fight, we didn't fall, we just quietly grew apart. You were leaving in your eyes, and mine were still trying to stay with your heart. You stopped asking about my day, stopped leaning when I spoke. Your silence started answering questions I was scared to know. You stayed polite, you stayed kind, like you didn't want to hurt me twice. But distance shows up clearly when love stops meeting your eyes. I told myself I was imagining things, that fear was playing tricks. But intuition doesn't whisper lies when it knows what it sees. You were leaving in your eyes, somewhere after I still care. Those words felt like a courtesy, not something you were there. You looked at me like someone you love, but not someone you choose. You were leaving in your eyes, and I was still looking for proof that it wasn't true. Maybe I loved you too attentively, noticed what you tried to hide. I read the ending in your silence before you admitted goodbye. I didn't need you to stay forever, just stay present, stay real. But your eyes were already somewhere else before your heart learned how to leave. Now I trust the quiet knowing I once tried to ignore. Some endings don't need closure when the truth is in the look before. I'm learning to believe myself when something feels untrue, because loving someone means leaving too, and they've already left you. You were leaving in your eyes, and that's the part that stays. Not the words, not the ending, but the moment love looked away. I remember us with tenderness, not blame, not fear, not lies. But I'll never forget the truth I saw the night you were leaving your eyes. Some goodbyes aren't spoken, they're seen in the way someone looks at you for the last time, without saying anything at all. We tried to hold it carefully, like love was made of glass. Every word we didn't say was us letting moments pass. We stay polite, we stay kind, we stay longer than we should. But staying started feeling heavier than admitting what love couldn't. I thought love always asked for effort, for patience, for the fight. But sometimes love just watches quietly while two hearts run out of light. Love didn't ask us to stay, didn't beg or pull us back. It stood between our silences and let us choose our own paths. We didn't quit, we didn't fail, we just listened when it said love didn't ask us to stay. And that's how we finally left. You look tired of explaining, I was tired of pretending. We kept calling and working through things, but it felt more like ending. Your hand still fit inside of mine, but it didn't feel like home. Like love was giving us permission to stop trying to belong. I told myself this meant we gave up, that walking away was wrong. But love shouldn't feel like forcing two people to hold on. Love didn't ask us to stay somewhere after we still care. Those words stopped meaning closeness and started meaning almost there. We stayed out of habit, not hope, out of fear of being alone. Love didn't ask us to stay, so we stopped calling distance home. Maybe love isn't always a promise to keep choosing the same face. Maybe sometimes it's the honesty to let go with grace. I didn't need a dramatic ending or reasons carved in pain. I just needed to know it was okay to stop trying to remain. Now I look back without anger, without wishing we'd try more. We loved the best way we knew how, until love asked us to listen instead. Some connections don't break loudly, they loosen and release, and walking away becomes the kindest form of peace. Love didn't ask us to stay, and I finally understand. Not all love is meant to last forever. Some just hold your hand. I remember us with gentleness, not regret, not fear, not blame. Love didn't ask us to stay, and leaving didn't mean we loved in vain. Some love doesn't end in goodbye, it ends in permission. In the quiet moment, you realize letting go is also pure form of love. I didn't keep a door half open, didn't save a way to leave. I put my whole heart on the table and trusted you would see. I loved you like I never need a second choice to land. I didn't pack an exit strategy, I loved you with no backup plan. You kept one foot on solid ground, just in case things change. I was already falling deep without a net to save my name. I loved you without a backup plan, no safety, no escape. I didn't imagine life without you, didn't picture any other shape. You had options, I had faith, I had everything in your hands. I loved you without a backup plan, and that's where I learned how hard it lands. I stayed when doubt was whispering, when silence felt too loud. I chose you even in the moments you weren't choosing us. I built my future in you, no hope impermanent. Your captures written lightly, ready to erase before it sank. I told myself love meant commitment, that jumping in was brave, but bravery doesn't soften the fall when you're the only one who stayed. I loved you without a backup plan, somewhere after we'll be fine. Those words became the ground I stood on, while yours stayed undefined. You knew how to step away clean, I only knew how to stand. I loved you without a backup plan, and I paid for it with everything I am. Maybe I should have held something back, kept part of me untouched, but loving halfway was never my language. I only knew all or enough. I don't regret the way I loved you, even if it hurt this way. I just wish living honestly didn't mean losing so much of myself that day. And now I'm learning how to love again, with my eyes still open wide to give, without abandoning myself, to let trust walk beside caution. This time I still believe in loving deeply, just not blindly again. I won't mistake having no backup plan for proof that love is supposed to win. I loved you without a backup plan, and that truth still feels wrong. Not because I loved you too much, but because I loved you at all. I remember us with tenderness, not shame, not fear, not blame. I loved you without a backup plan, and that love was real, even if it couldn't stay. Some love isn't careless, it's courageous. It believes completely before learning, and not everyone loves with nothing to fall back on. We didn't stop talking suddenly. We just spoke less each day. Words felt heavier than silence, so we let them slip away. We still sat close on the same couch, still share the same night air. But everything we didn't say started living between us there. I thought suddenly we were safe, that calm and we were strong. But peace can hide 1,000 truths when it lasts too long. We got quiet together, not broken, just unsure. We stopped asking how we felt when feelings felt too hard. We didn't fight, we didn't leave, we just slowly learned how. We got quiet together and forgot how to be loud about love, about love. You stopped telling me your worries, I stopped telling you mine. We protected what was fragile by pretending we were fine. Your touch felt careful, not cold, like you didn't want to wake the ache. And I mistook that gentleness for love that would stay. I kept listening for your heart, but all I heard was space. It's strange how closeness disappears without anyone walking away. We got quiet together somewhere after it's okay. Those words became our shelter from the truth we couldn't say. We stayed polite, we stayed kind, we stayed longer than we knew. We got quiet together, and silence slowly chose us fresh. Maybe we were afraid of breaking it, of saying the wrong thing out loud. We loved each other carefully, but forgot love needs sound. I didn't need perfect answers or promises carved in stone. I just needed to feel your voice still reaching for my own. Now I hear the quiet differently, not as comfort, not as peace. Some silences are endings disguised as relief. I'm learning how to speak again, even when my voice still shakes. Because love shouldn't disappear just because it's afraid. We got quiet together, and that's how it slipped away. Not with endings, not with blame, just the sound of us not staying. And I'll remember us with tenderness, not regret, not fear, not doubt. But I'll always know the moment when love got quiet and didn't come back out. Some love doesn't end in goodbye, it ends in shared silence. When two hearts stop speaking and hope listens until it finally lets go. stopped leaning in when I spoke. I leaned closer instead. You answered with half of your heart. I gave everything I had left. You loved me when it was simple, when love didn't ask for wait. I stayed even when it hurt to stay. You stayed until it didn't feel the same. I noticed the shift in the smallest things, the space in your touch. I kept calling it a phase. You called it enough. You loved me less, I loved you more, and I felt it every day. I kept reaching for your hand while you slowly pulled away. We didn't say it out loud, but our hearts knew the score. You loved me less, and I loved you more. You stopped fighting for the moments I fought just to feel seen. You learned how to let go quietly. I learned what holding on means. You protected your peace from pain. I sacrificed mine to stay. I told myself love isn't even sometimes, but deep down I knew what that meant. I kept adjusting the balance, carrying what you dropped. But love shouldn't feel like survival when only one heart won't stop. You love me less, I loved you more. Somewhere after I still care, those words became your exit sign, while mine was still prayers. You found relief in letting go. I found truth on the floor. You loved me less, and I loved you more. Maybe loving more isn't weakness. Maybe loving less isn't cruel. But loving unevenly breaks something no one teaches you in school. I didn't need you to match me perfectly, just meet me halfway there. But I was running the whole distance while you were already elsewhere. Now I'm learning how to stop measuring my worth by how much I give, to believe love shouldn't drain you just to prove it exists. I still miss the version of us before the scales tipped sore, but I don't miss loving someone who let me love them more and more. You love me less, I loved you more, and that's how we fell apart. Not from anger, not from blame, but from a leaf in our hearts. I remember us with tenderness, not regret, not war, but I'll never forget the lesson that love can live where one loves less and the other loves more. Some love doesn't end in hate, it ends in imbalance when one heart grows lighter and the other learns too late. It's been carrying too much alone. I felt the signs before the ending, and the way you pulled away. Love stopped feeling like a choice we made and more like something we delayed. Your silence wasn't cruel or cold, it was honest in disguise. Love was pointing to the door, but I refused to read the signs. I told myself staying meant loyalty, that leaving meant defeat. But sometimes staying is the thing that hurts you deep. I stayed when love was asking me to go, when every part of me already knew. I held on to what was fading fast, while love was gently letting me loose. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, I just ignored what love showed. I stayed when love was asking me to go, and that's how I lost myself slow. You didn't push me out the door, you just stopped pulling me in. Affection turned into distance, and hope became a quiet sin. I kept rewriting all the moments, looking for a reason to stay. But love doesn't whisper, hold on, when it's already on its way. I called the pain being patient, called fear being strong, but strength isn't holding on forever when the truth is gone. I stayed when love was asking me to go, somewhere after we'll be fine. Those words became my hiding place from the truth I left behind. You were already learning how to leave, I was learning how to pretend. I stayed when love was asking me to go, and turned an ending into something that wouldn't end. Maybe I thought love was enduring, surviving what felt wrong. I didn't want to be the one who gave up too soon, too strong. But love isn't proven by suffering or by staying past your truth. Sometimes the bravest way to love is knowing when to choose you. Now I listen when my heart speaks softly, when something feels misaligned. I trust the quiet knowing I once ignored out of fear of goodbye. Don't regret the love I gave, only where I stayed too long, because love was asking me to go, and I finally learned it wasn't wrong. I stayed when love was asking me to go, and that's the lesson I keep. Not every ending needs resistance, not every loss means defeat. I remember us with tenderness, not blame, not shame, not woe. But I'll always honor the moment I finally listened when love asked me to go. Some love doesn't end in heartbreak, it ends in honesty. You stop staying out of fear and start living out of self-respect. You were still sleeping in my bed, but your heart was already gone. You smiled like nothing had changed, like love was still holding on. You folded your words carefully, left nothing out of place, but I felt something missing every time you looked away. I thought maybe I was overthinking, reading signs that weren't there. But love doesn't leave all at once, it leaves in pieces you don't share. Your heart packed first, long before you left the room. I was still planning tomorrow while you were clearing space. We didn't say goodbye out loud, didn't call it the end. Your heart packed first, and I stayed believing you hadn't. You stopped asking how I felt, started saying you'll be fine. You spoke like love was in the past, even while standing in mine. Your touch felt lighter every night, like it didn't wanna stay. And I started missing you before you ever walked away. I kept making excuses for the distance, calling it just a phase. But phases don't feel like farewells disguised as normal days. Your heart packed first, somewhere after I still care. Those words felt like an echo of love that wasn't there. You stayed out of kindness, not feeling, out of habit, not hope. Your heart packed first, and I was still holding what we broke. Maybe you didn't mean to leave me, maybe you didn't know how to stay. But love shouldn't feel like waiting for someone who's already on their way. I didn't need a perfect ending or a reason carved in pain. I just needed you to tell me when your heart had already packed and changed. Now I trust what I felt back then, the quiet I tried to deny. Some goodbyes happen internally, long before they reach the eyes. I'm learning how to stop unpacking someone else's truth, because love shouldn't ask you to stay when the other heart already moved. Your heart packed first, and mine was left behind. Not because I loved you too deeply, but because I loved you on time. I remember us with tenderness, not anger, not regret. But I'll never forget the moment I realized you had already lived it. Some love doesn't end with a door closing, it ends with a heart leaving quietly, while the other one is still setting the table for a future that's already gone. I wake up the same way every morning, reach for what's not there. The room already knows the silence, it waits like it's prepared. I make coffee for two out of habit, then remember it's just me. Missing you didn't ask ask permission, it just moved in quietly. I thought time would rearrange me, teach my heart something new. But missing you learned my routine before I even knew what to do. Missing you learned my routine, knows exactly when I'm weak. It shows up in the in-between moments I don't mean to keep. It sits with me at dinner time, sleeps beside my side of the bed. Missing you learned my routine, and it hasn't left yet. It knows when the house gets lonely, when the day feels too long. It waits for the hours I used to call you when everything went wrong. I don't cry the way I used to, I don't break down like before. Missing you doesn't need drama, it just knocks on every door. I stopped fighting the pattern, stopped asking why me, because missing you feels patient, like it knows I won't flee. Missing you learned my routine somewhere after I said I'm fine, and memorize my quiet nights and the places I lose time. It doesn't rush, it doesn't hurt sharp, it just stays instead. Missing you learned my routine, like it knows me better than anyone did back then. Maybe this is what healing looks like, not forgetting, not erasing, just learning how to carry absence without constantly breaking. I don't want you back the way you were, I don't want yesterday. I just didn't know missing someone could feel this familiar and stay. Now I move through days on autopilot, still building a life somehow. I smile at the right moments, I breathe, I'm here, I'm now. But there's a space that follows me, like it knows exactly where I've been. Missing you learned my routine, and it walks beside me like a friend. Missing you learned my routine, and maybe that's okay. It means I loved you deeply enough for absence to know my ways. I won't run, I won't rush it out, I won't pretend I'm free. Missing you learned my routine, and one day I'll teach it how to leave. Some loss doesn't shout, it settles, it learns your hours, your habits, your quiet nights, and waits patiently until you're ready to change the routine, and finally let it go. We talked about tomorrow like it was waiting, like it knew our names. You spoke in open-ended answers, I spoke in something I could claim. You dreamed emotion and freedom. I dreamed in staying close. We held the same word in our hands, but meant different hopes. I thought love would meet us halfway. The time would teach us how. But love can't promise the same future when hearts don't look the same way forward now. We loved different tomorrows, but called it the same dream. I saw you in every version of mine. You saw yourself leaving. We didn't argue, we didn't break. We just smiled and pretended we knew. We loved different tomorrows, and one day they finally pulled us in two. You said, let's see what happens. I heard, I'm not sure yet. I needed something to grow toward. You needed no future set. I planned with hope and patience. You lived in the now. I was building something solid. You were already wondering how. I kept softening my expectations, calling, waiting, being kind. But love shouldn't feel like pausing your life to protect someone else's time. We love different tomorrow. Somewhere after we'll be fine. Those words became a quiet place where truth ran out of time. I stayed loyal to the future I believed we'd choose. But love can't grow where tomorrow doesn't include you. Maybe neither of us was wrong, just honest in our own way. You needed room to keep it coming. I needed a reason to stay. I don't regret the love I gave you or believing we'd align. I just wish we named the truth sooner, that your tomorrow was never meant to be mine. Without shrinking my heart to want a future that wants me back. Right from the start, I still think of you when tomorrow comes, but not with blame or ache. Just knowing some love teaches you what futures you shouldn't beg to make. We love different tomorrows, and that's where it let us go. Not from lack of feeling, but from wanting different roads. With tenderness, not regret, not loss, not sorrow. But I'll always remember the moment I understood we love different tomorrows. Some love doesn't end in heartbreak, it ends in understanding. Loving someone doesn't mean you're walking toward the same tomorrow. still said my name the same way, but it didn't land like before. Your attention drifted elsewhere, like I wasn't the place you returned to anymore. You listened, but not all the way. Held me without leaning in, and I felt love becoming optional instead of something you chose again and again. I told myself love doesn't need proof, that staying calm and trust. But love shouldn't feel like guessing if you still matter or just exist. You stopped choosing me, not suddenly, just slow. I kept showing up with my whole heart while you quietly let go. We didn't end with goodbye words, one dramatic scene. You stopped choosing me, and I felt it in everything in between. You stopped asking about my day, stopped noticing when I change. You love me in familiar ways, but not in the ways that asked you to stay engaged. I adjusted, I waited, I softened my needs so love wouldn't feel too loud. But loving someone quietly disappearing is still losing them, just slower now. I kept lowering my expectations, calling effort being patient, but patience can't replace intention. When one heart stops showing up present, you stop choosing me. Somewhere after I still care, those words felt like leftovers from a love that wasn't really there. You stayed polite, you stayed kind, but kindness isn't the same. You stopped choosing me, and I learned love can leave without going away. Maybe you didn't mean to hurt me, maybe you were just unsure, but love can't live in hesitation when one heart is asking for more. I didn't need perfection or promises every day. I just needed to feel like you'd still choose me, even when it wasn't convenient to stay. Now I'm learning how to trust myself when something feels off inside, to listen to the quiet truth I once ignored just to survive. I still miss the version of you who chose me without thinking twice, but I don't miss waiting to be loved by someone who already made their choice. You stopped choosing me, and that's how it ended here. Not with anger, not with blame, just absence growing clear. I remember us with tenderness, not regret, not war. But I'll never forget the lesson that love doesn't stay. When one heart stops choosing, for sure. Some love doesn't break loudly, it fades when you realize you've been choosing someone who quietly stopped choosing to hold me like it mattered, like I was where you land. Then loving me started to feel like something you had to carry in your hands. You breathe deeper before saying my name, pause before you touch my side, like affection needed effort now, like love was getting heavy in your mind. I felt it when you needed space, every time I needed more. It's strange how weight appears in love, right when it asks you to show up at the door. Love felt heavy for you, I could feel it in your hold. You stopped lifting us together, started setting us down in pieces. Slow, I carried what you couldn't bear. I stayed when you was true. Love felt heavy for you, but I was still carrying it for two. You said you felt overwhelmed, that life was moving fast, but love shouldn't feel like pressure for wanting something meant to last. I learned how to soften my needs, how to make myself small, so loving me wouldn't feel like something you might drop and fall. I called your distance understanding, called my silence being kind, but kindness shouldn't cost you your voice or leave your heart behind. Love felt heavy for you, somewhere after I can't. Those words built a quiet wall between effort and intent. You stayed while it felt light enough, left when it grew true. Love felt heavy for you, and I learned what love weighs when it's only held by you. Maybe you were meant to carry the depth I gave so free. Maybe my love asked for presence you weren't ready to be. I didn't need perfection, just consistency. But real love has gravity, and that scared you away from me. Now I'm learning love shouldn't ache from holding all the ground. It shouldn't feel like apologizing just for wanting someone around. I still miss the way you tried it first before it felt too much, but I don't miss being the only one who kept reaching for us. Love felt heavy for you, and that's where we let go. Not from lack of feeling, but from fear of carrying a heart you didn't know. I remember us with tenderness, not blame, not fear, not proof, but I'll always know the moment when love grew real. And it felt heavy for you. Some love doesn't fail, it asks for weight one heart can't hold, and the other learns it's okay to set it down. and walk home. I kept showing up with my whole heart. You showed up when you could. I spoke in hopes and honesty. You stayed where it felt good. You held my hand when it was easy, let go when it asked for more. And I didn't notice at first that I was the only one at the door. I kept telling myself love was patient, that effort didn't need to show. But patience doesn't feel like waiting when one heart's already gone. I was loving alone, even when you weren't near. I was carrying all the weight of it while you disappeared. We shared the same nights, the same space, but not the same truth. I was loving alone, and I didn't know until I stopped feeling you. You listened but not all the way, hurt me without hearing pain. You stayed comfortable in the middle while I kept trying to explain. I softened every sharp edge so you wouldn't feel confined. But love shouldn't feel like apologizing for needing someone to try. I called imbalance a rough season, called silence being kind. But love can't survive on good intentions when it's only living on one side. I was loving alone somewhere after I still care. Those words felt like echoes of something that wasn't there. You stayed polite, you stayed gentle, but gentleness isn't the same. I was loving alone, and loving alone slowly broke my name. Maybe I thought loving harder would teach you how to stay. I didn't wanna be the reason you felt pressed or afraid. But love isn't proven by endurance or by who gives the most. Sometimes the loneliest feeling is loving someone who's already gone. Now I'm learning how to love again without abandoning me. To notice when effort disappears and call it what it needs to be. I still miss the version of us before the truth was shown. But I don't miss loving someone while standing in it alone. I was loving alone, and that's where it went wrong. Not because I loved too deeply, but because I loved for too long. By myself I'll remember us with tenderness, not blame, not shame, not tone. But I'll never forget the moment I realized I was loving alone. Some love doesn't end in goodbye. It ends in awareness when you finally admit you've been loving with both hands while the other heart was already letting go. the door behind you. Didn't raise your voice or cry. You folded every word carefully, like you were trying not to hurt my life. You said you still cared about me, just not the way you should. And somehow that gentle honesty hurt deeper than anger ever could. Nothing shattered in the room that night. No picture fell, no sound. But something inside my chest collapsed without making a single pound. You left without breaking anything, no mess for me to see. You took your heart so quietly, left everything still standing but me. We didn't burn, we didn't bleed, we didn't fall apart. You left without breaking anything except my heart. You packed your things with patience, like this was overdue. You thanked me for the loving like it was something we were through. The house stayed just the way it was, every chair in place, but every corner suddenly felt empty of your unfinished presence. I thought pain would come in pieces, loud enough to recognize, but grief can whisper softly and still change your life. You left without breaking anything, somewhere after I'm sorry. Those words felt like a soft ending to a story I was still living in. No blame, no scenes, no final fight, just quiet honesty. You left without breaking anything, and left all the breaking to me. Maybe you thought being gentle was the kindest way to go, but silence leaves too much room for questions I'll never know. I would have handled anger better than a calm, polite release, because nothing hurts like watching love leave without ever making a sound. Now I walk through what we built together like it still belongs to us. Everything looks untouched on the surface, but I'm learning how much was lost. I don't hate you for choosing peace or for leaving me whole. I just didn't know a goodbye this soft could leave such a deep hole. You left without breaking anything, and that's what stays with me. No evidence of what we were, just silence where love used to be. I'll remember us with tenderness, not anger, not regret, but I'll always feel the moment you left without breaking anything and broke me instead. Some goodbyes don't destroy the room, they leave it perfectly intact, and you stand there alone, holding everything that didn't fall, trying to understand how something so gentle could hurt like that. something solid, almost sure, almost there. We spoke in half-made futures like love was already prepared. I held on to the almost, like they counted as truth. But almost loving someone still leaves you with nothing to hold on to. I keep thinking how close we were, how little stood in the way. It hurts how almost feels heavier than a clean goodbye. Almost still hurts, even after all this time. Not because we didn't make it, but because we came so close to crossing the line. We didn't fail, we didn't fall, we just didn't go that far. Almost still hurts, like a scar that never fully formed, but still aches in the dark. Like it was forever, loved like it was enough. We stayed right on the edge, and more afraid to jump or give it up. You said maybe someday, I heard not right now. And somehow waiting felt safer than asking for the truth out loud. I told myself timing was everything, that patience meant we were wise. But wisdom doesn't quiet the pain of almost looking someone in the eyes and calling them mine. Almost still hurts, somewhere between yes and no. We lived inside the in-between, and that space never let me go. We didn't burn, we didn't break, we just slowly fell apart. Almost still hurts, because it never fully ended and never truly started. Maybe almost is the hardest place, because nothing feels complete. You don't grieve a full goodbye, but you lose what you never got to keep. I don't miss who we became at the end. There was no end to see. I miss the life I imagined, because almost felt like destiny. Now I pass the moments we could have lived. They don't haunt me every day, but sometimes what it finds my heart when I'm too tired to look away. I'm learning how to forgive myself for loving without proof. Some hearts get bruised by maybe just as deeply as by truth. Almost still hurts, and maybe it always will. Not enough to stop me living, just enough to remind me what I feel. I'll carry it with tenderness, not bitterness or blame. Almost still hurts, but it also means I was brave enough to love without guarantee. Some love never gets a beginning or an ending. It lives as an almost, quietly teaching you how deeply you can feel, even when nothing ever really stays. You started laughing without forcing it. like the weight had finally gone. You spoke about tomorrow easily, like love never lingered long. I watched you step back into your life like nothing asked you to stay, while I was still learning how to breathe through the parts that didn't fade. I tried to be proud of your strength, tried calling it being okay, but it hurt to see you standing tall while I was still breaking every day. You healed faster than me, and I didn't know how to feel. I wanted peace for you, honestly, but your peace made my pain feel real. You moved on like love was gentle, like it didn't leave a scar. You healed faster than me, and I was still figuring out where my pieces are. You said time had been kind to you, that space helped you grow. I nodded like I understood, while silence was all I knew. You talked about closure lightly, like it came without a cost. But some of us don't heal by letting go, we heal by naming what was lost. I kept comparing our timelines, wondering what I did wrong. It's strange how healing can feel like rejection when it doesn't happen at the same pace for everyone. You healed faster than me, somewhere after I'm okay. Those words felt like a closed door I wasn't ready to walk away from. Yeah, you found calm in the letting go. I stayed where the memories are. You healed faster than me, and I'm still learning how to live with the part of me that cared too hard. Maybe you loved in a way that released, and I loved in a way that held on. Maybe I don't heal by forgetting, I heal by feeling it all until it's gone. I don't blame you for surviving quicker, choosing peace before pain. I just wish my heart didn't feel broken, for healing had its own pace. Now I'm trying not to rush myself, not to turn grief into shame. Some wounds need quiet patience, some hearts don't heal the same. I still think of you on softer days, not with anger, not regret, just wondering how two people can share the same love and leave it so differently met. You healed faster than me, truth still aches inside, not because I wanted you hurting, but because I was left behind. I'll get there when I get there, I won't force my heart to race. You healed faster than me, and I'm learning it's okay to heal at my own pace. Some hearts don't heal slow because they're weak, they heal slower because they love deeply. And healing late doesn't mean failing, it just means you're still being honest with what you felt. I used to know when things were right, when to leave, when to wait. And loving you rearranged the clock, moved every maybe in fate. I showed up early with my heart, you arrived when you could. We stood in the same moment, but wanted it understood at different times. I kept telling myself patience was love, that time bends if you try. But love can change the hour hand without asking either side. Love changed my time and my feelings for you. I was ready before you were and didn't know what else to do. I waited where you needed space, I slowed when you weren't sure. Love changed my timing and I learned being early can still mean you lose. I planned with hope and steady hands. You lived and maybe someday. I counted moments like promises. You counted ways to stay away. I thought if I loved you quietly, time would catch us up. But love doesn't wait politely when hearts grow out of sync with us. I blame the season, blame myself, call misalignment, growth. But love can be real and still arrive at the wrong moment for both. Love changed my timing somewhere after let's see. Those words became a holding pattern where I paused being me. You moved at the pace you needed, I slowed until I disappeared. Love changed my timing and I stayed longer than my heart could bear. Maybe loving you taught me patience, but staying taught me delay. There's a difference between waiting and letting your life slip away. I don't regret the love I gave you or believing we'd align. I just wish I trusted the voice that said my time was still mine. Now I listen when something feels late, when effort doesn't return. I trust the rhythm inside my chest, the lessons I had to learn. I won't rush for someone unready or pause where I don't belong. Love can change your timing once, but it shouldn't steal your song. Love changed my timing, and that's how I grew. Not by loving less deeply, but by learning when to move on me. Love where it meets me back at a pace that feels true. Love changed my timing, but it didn't change my worth or the love I'm still allowed to choose. Some love doesn't break your heart, it delays it. And one day you realize getting your time back is the beginning of loving yourself right on cue. still remember us honestly, not soft and not romanticized. I remember the good in the cracks, the way love slowly changes size. We weren't perfect, we weren't careless, we tried the best we knew. I don't rewrite the ending now. I remember the middle too. I don't only miss the sweetness, I remember the strain. Love wasn't always easy with us, but it was real pain. I still remember us honestly, not just the parts that shine. I remember the nights we tried to stay when love was running out of time. I don't lie to myself anymore or pretend it was all lost. I still remember us honestly, and that truth still matters because it was ours. I remember how we listened and how we sometimes didn't, how silence became our language before we knew what it meant. I remember wanting more than you could give, and you wanted space to breathe. We weren't wrong for what we needed, we were just out of sync. I used to blame myself for you, try to simplify the end, but love is rarely one clean reason. It's 1,000 moments you can't mend. I still remember us honestly, somewhere after hope felt thin, when we loved without knowing how but stayed, because it meant something then. I don't hate the way it ended, I don't wish we lied or crossed. I still remember us honestly, and I forgive what we were and what we could not become. Maybe remembering truthfully is healing, not clinging, not letting go too fast. It's holding love without rewriting it and letting memory last. I don't need us to have survived or proven love was enough. I just need to know what we felt was real, even when it got tough. Now when I think of you, I don't ache, I don't reach, I don't rewind. I just let the memory sit with me, unedited kind. I loved you the best way I could then, and you did what you knew to do. I still remember us honestly, and that's how I know I'm through. I still remember us honestly, and that feels like peace to me. Not because it didn't hurt to lose, but because I don't lie to heal. I'll carry us with quiet respect, not regret, not gloss. I still remember us honestly, and that's how I finally let us rest. Some love doesn't need to be erased or relived, it just needs to be remembered truthfully. There's something real that taught you who you were before you learned how to let go. People say it wasn't that serious, that maybe I felt too much. They say time made it bigger than it was, that I just held on too long. But I remember the way you showed up, the way your eyes didn't lie. You don't hold someone like that if they're nothing in your life. I don't need the world to validate what my heart already knew. Some things are real in the moment, even if they don't last through. You were real to me, even if it faded away, even if you let it go like it was easier that way. I didn't imagine loving you, I didn't love a dream. You were real to me, and that truth still means something to me. We weren't perfect or forever, but we were honest back then. You chose me in small, quiet moments, even if you couldn't choose me in the end. I know maybe it changed for you, or maybe you outgrew the feeling. But don't tell me it was nothing just because you stopped needing it. I won't rewrite our history to make healing easier to claim. Love doesn't disappear completely just because it changed its name. You were real to me, in the way my guard came down, in the way I trusted your hands when the world was too loud. I don't need an apology or for you to agree. You were real to me, and I'm allowed to keep that memory. Maybe you remember it differently, maybe it meant less to you. But love isn't measured by symmetry, it's measured by what it does to you. I won't shrink my experience to make it easier to leave. What we had was real enough to change me. Honestly, now I hold those moments gently, not as wounds, not as proof, just as chapters that existed before they slipped loose. I don't chase what doesn't choose me, I don't ask for more. I just honor what was real without asking it to be restored. You were real to me, and I won't erase that truth. Not because I'm still holding on, but because I loved you true. I'll keep moving, I'll keep healing, I won't rewrite my history. You were real to me, and that love still deserves dignity. Some love doesn't last forever, but it still counts, it still shapes you, and no one gets to tell you it wasn't real just because it ended. I'm not afraid of love anymore. I'm just listening now. I know how much it costs to rush and promise what the heart can allow. I learned the weight of giving fully before the ground feels safe. So I stand here with my feelings and let time find its pace. I don't need sparks that burn too fast or vows made in a rush. I just want something honest that grows because it must. I love again slowly when my heart says it's time. Not because I'm scared of falling, but because I've learned to be kind to myself. I won't pour from an empty place or chase what won't choose me. I love again slowly and let love meet me gently. I used to think love was proven, staying through every ache. Now I know love is choosing yourself before you disappear, trying to stay. I don't want a love that rescues me or fills every quiet space. I want a love that walks beside me at a human, honest pace. Patience, not distance, not delay. Some hearts open beautifully when no one pulls them away. I love again slowly without shrinking who I am. I won't make myself easier just to fit in someone's plan. Something matters, I'll leave when it doesn't feel right. I love again slowly and trust myself this time. I don't regret loving deeply, even when it left a scar. It showed me how much I can feel and how strong my boundaries are. I'm not closing doors forever, I'm just walking with care, because the right love won't rush me. It will meet me right there. Some nights I still feel tender, some memories still ache, but pain no longer leads my choices. It just reminds me to wait. I'm learning patience with my heart, letting trust rebuild. Love doesn't need to hurry to become something real. I love again slowly, and that feels brave to say. Not because I'm afraid of loving, but because I've learned to stay with myself. I'll choose what chooses me back. I won't settle, I won't repeat. I'll love again slowly and let love arrive at the speed I deserve. Some hearts don't heal by rushing, they heal by listening. And one day love returns, that loudly but quietly.